Today, we're talking about budgeting, specifically on a very low income. Let's be honest, trying to budget when you barely make enough seems pointless. But here's the truth most people miss. Budgeting isn't about earning more. It's about building a system that helps you make the most of what you currently have. And in this video, I will show you exactly how to build that system using a 5-part framework anyone can follow. Before we get into the framework, let's clear something up. Most people think budgeting is all about restriction, cutting out coffee, canceling Netflix, living in survival mode. But that's not what this is about. Budgeting, especially on a low income, isn't about punishment. It's about clarity and control. When you're working with a limited paycheck, every decision counts. And the goal isn't to be perfect. It's to build a system that helps you make decisions without stress. Because once you see where your money is going, you can take back control of it. That's the mindset we are working with here. With that out of the way, let's dive into step 1, which is what I call the paycheck filter. And here's why this matters. Most people think they know where their money goes, but when you actually look at the numbers, you yourself will be surprised. They have a general idea of, I spend money on rent, food, gas, the usual stuff. But when money feels tight, most people assume they just need to make more, when in reality, they are losing money without even realizing it. And that's where the paycheck filter comes in. You take your last month of spending and filter it line by line, putting every single expense into one of the 4 categories: needs, wants, regrets, and unknowns. Your needs are things you absolutely have to pay for to survive: rents, groceries, your phone bill, or like transportation to work. Your wants are everything else you choose to spend money on, like Netflix, eating out, or getting new clothes, or that random thing you buy on Amazon. Your regrets are purchases you wish you hadn't made, that subscription you forgot about, that expensive dinner that wasn't worth it, the impulse buy that you return. And unknowns are charges you genuinely don't recognize, random fees, automatic renewals that you forgot about. Now here's the exercise. Open your banking app and look at your last month of transactions. Go through each one and ask yourself, was this a need, a want, a regret, or unknown? Let me give you an example of what you might find. Let's say you brought home $1,800 last month. Your needs might be rent $700, groceries $250, phone $50, gas $80. That's $1,080 for survival. Your wants: eating at $180, streaming $35, clothes $75, random stuff $125. That's $410 on choices. Your regrets: gym membership $30, overdraft fee $35, food delivery $45. That's $110 you wish you could get back. Your unknowns: some app $10, random fee $15. That's $25 you didn't know about. Total will be $1,625 out of $1,800, which means you had $175 left over. But here's what most people miss. Look at those regrets and unknowns. That's $135 that just disappeared, money you didn't get anything valuable from. Suddenly you can see where your money is actually going, and more importantly, where it's leaking. This isn't about judging yourself, it's about awareness. Because once you know where your money has been going, you can now decide where you want it to go instead. Now that you know where your money went, it's time to fix the leaks. These are expenses that are quietly draining your money without giving you any value in return. The stuff from your regrets and unknown categories, plus some wants you're not really enjoying. When money is tight, you can't afford to just have money disappearing, because every dollar matters. Here are the most common leaks I see people dealing with. First is subscription creep, when you sign up for things and forget about them. Second is convenience spending, when you pay extra because you didn't plan ahead. Food delivery, when you have groceries at home. Buying lunch because you didn't pack one. Shopping at the expensive store because it's closer. These aren't big purchases, but they happen constantly and add up to real money. Third is impulse purchases. The random stuff you buy without even thinking. Something on sale that you don't really need. An item you see as checkout, or something you saw on Amazon and thought it was a good deal. Most impulse purchases sit unused within the first month, but the money is gone. Fourth is fees and penalties, like overdraft fees, late fees, ATM fees, parking tickets. This feels like bad luck, but they're usually preventable with a little planning. Now here's how you fix these leaks. Start with the easy wins. Go through your subscriptions right now and cancel anything you don't use at least twice a month. This alone could save you $50 to $100 a month. Next, set up alerts. Most banks let you set up text alerts when your balance gets low and calendar reminders for bill due dates. Then plan your convenience spending. Pack lunch twice a week. Cook extra at dinner for tomorrow's lunch. Fill up gas near the cheap station. Small changes that save you $20 to $50 a week. For impulse purchases, use the 24-hour rule. If you want to buy something non-essential, wait for 24 hours. Most of the time you will forget about it. Finally, automate what you can. Set up autopay for bills, use the right ATMs, keep a small buffer in your checking account. Here's what this looks like in practice. Remember our example from step 1 with $135 in regrets and unknowns. Let's say you cancel $40 in unknown subscriptions. Save $30 a month by packing lunch twice a week and avoid $25 in fees by setting up alerts. That's $95 a month you get back. Over a year, that's $1,140 just from fixing leaks. You didn't cut anything you actually enjoyed or restrict yourself. You just stopped money from disappearing. Once you fixed the obvious leaks, it's time to build your simple budget. This isn't a complicated spreadsheet with 20 categories or tracking every coffee and candy bar. This is a simple plan that tells your money where to go before you even spend it. Because here's what happens without a plan. You get paid, pay some bills, buy groceries, spend money on random stuff, and then hope there's enough for everything else. But hoping isn't a strategy, and that's why most people feel broke even on a decent income. Your simple budget changed that by giving every dollar a job before you spend it. Here's how it works. You're going to split your income into just 3 categories: must-haves, want-to-haves, and save to haves. Your must-haves are your true needs from step 1 that you absolutely have to pay for: rent, groceries, phone, transportation, minimum debt payments. These get paid first always, because if you don't, bad things happen. Your want-to-haves are everything else you spend money on, like entertainment, eating out, buying new clothes, or like your hobbies. This isn't bad spending, but it's optional spending. Your save to haves are money for the future: emergency fund, paying off debt faster, or saving for something specific. This is the money that builds your financial security. Now here's how you figure out the amounts. Start with your must-haves by adding everything from step 1 that was truly essential. This is your baseline, the amount you need just to survive. Next, decide how much you want to save. Even if it's just $25 a month, pick a number and make it realistic, because saving something is infinitely better than saving nothing. Finally, everything else goes to your want-to-haves. What's left after must-haves and save-to-haves. This is your fun money that you can spend guilt-free, because you already took care of the important stuff. Let me show you an example. Let's say you bring home $1,800 a month. Must-haves $1,100, save-to-haves $100, want-to-haves $600, and that will be a total of $1,800. No complicated categories, no tracking every purchase, just 3 buckets for your money. But here's the key part. You decide this amount before the month even starts, not during or after you've already spent the money. This is planning, not just tracking. Now I know what you're thinking. What if my must-haves are more than half of my income? That's actually normal for people on low incomes, since rent is expensive, food costs money, and transportation adds up. If your must-haves are 70% or 80% of your income, that's okay. Just work with what you have. Maybe you can only save $25 a month right now, or you only have $200 for your wants. But that's still better than no plan at all, because this budget grows with you. When you get a raise, you can increase your savings. When you find a cheaper apartment, you have more room for wants. Having a plan makes spending decisions easier, because you know what you can afford. But here's where most people mess up. They try to manage these budgets manually every single day, remembering how much they've spent, keeping track of what's left, and making perfect decisions in the moment. That's exhausting, and that's why budgets fail. Not because you don't know what to do, but because it requires too much mental energy every single day. That's where the set and forget system comes in. You set up your money to follow your budget automatically, so you don't have to think about it. Here's how it works. First, you need 3 accounts. Your main checking accounts can be one of them, then open 2 more accounts. Most banks let you open additional accounts for free online in about 10 minutes. Or if your bank charges fees, look for a free online bank. Give those accounts clear names like bills and necessities, emergency and goals, and fund spending. Next, set up automatic transfers for the day you get paid. Using our example from step 3 where you bring home $1,800 monthly, with $1,100 for your must-haves, $100 for your save-to-haves, and $600 for your want-to-haves. You would set up 2 automatic transfers. $100 goes to your emergency and goals account. $600 goes to your fun and spending account, and $1,100 stays in your bills and necessities account. This happens automatically every payday without you having to remember or decide anything. Here's how you use this account. Your bills and necessity account covers rent, groceries, transportation, basically all your must-haves. When the money is gone, you are done with must-have spending until the next payday. Your emergency and goals account builds your financial security. You don't touch this money unless it's an emergency or you are making extra debt payments. Your fund spending account is for everything else: restaurants, entertainment, clothes, and random purchases. This is your guilt-free spending money because you already took care of your responsibilities and your future. And here's why this system works so well. It removes daily decisions because if you just look at your fund spending account, if there's money there, you can spend it. If there's nothing there, you wait until the next payday. It prevents overspending because you can't accidentally spend your rent money on dinner since it's in a different account. It makes saving automatic since you don't have to remember to save money or find leftover money at the end of the month. And it reduces guilt because when you spend from your phone account, you know it's okay. Setting this up takes about 30 minutes one time, then it runs itself. Compare that to manually tracking your budget every single day, calculating how much you spent and wondering if you can afford something. This is how people who are good with money actually manage their money. They don't have superhuman willpower. They just set up systems that work automatically. Now you have the system running automatically, but even with automation, you still need regular maintenance. Not daily tracking or constant corrections, but a simple weekly check-in that takes about 5 minutes and keeps your budget on track all month long. Here's why this matters. Even with automation, life happens. You might forget about a bill, or you might have an unexpected expense, or you realize you set your budget amounts wrong. Without regular check-ins, small problems become big problems. But with weekly maintenance, you catch issues early before they derail your whole budget. Here's exactly how to do your weekly check-ins. Pick one day of the week. Sunday works well for most people. Set a timer for 5 minutes and ask yourself these 3 simple questions. Question 1. How much do I have left in each account? You are not tracking every transaction. You are just checking your balances and making a mental note. Question 2. Did anything unexpected happen this week? Note any unusual expenses, forgotten bills, overspending, or unexpected money. You're not judging yourself. You're just staying aware of what affected your budget. Question 3. Do I need to adjust anything for next week? Based on your balances and any unexpected events, make 1 or 2 small adjustments. Maybe you overspent on food and need to cook more this week, or you had a car repair and you need to be extra careful with your fund spending. Nothing dramatic, just course corrections. That's it. 3 questions, 5 minutes, once a week. If you find problems doing your check-ins, don't panic or abandon the budget. Just adjust. Spend all your fund money with 2 weeks left. Do free activities until your next payday. Or you forgot about a subscription that came out from your bills account. Transfer money from your fund spending to cover groceries and then cancel the subscription. The goal isn't perfection, it's awareness and quick adjustments. Small course corrections instead of major crashes. And here's what happens if you miss the weekly check-ins. You lose track of your spending. You don't notice problems until it's too late. And eventually you give up on budgeting altogether. But with weekly check-ins, you stay connected to your money, catch problems early, and build confidence in your system. This is how budgeting becomes a habit instead of a chore. You're not obsessing over every purchase and tracking every single penny. You're just checking in once a week to ensure that you're still on track. So now you've got the system for budgeting on a low income. But the best budget in the world won't work if you don't have a plan for every single paycheck. And that's exactly what I cover in this video. And remember, the path is yours to walk. And as always, I'm in your corner rooting for you.